Hi, my name is Chris Ryan. Down at the Belfry, we are in the TaylorMade Performance Centre, and we are going to do a video today talking about how you can stop slicing the ball with the driver. It's a pretty simple drill that you can do at the range, which is hopefully going to help you release the club better and understand a little bit more how the arms should work. Down in the corner of the screen, you've also got the details for Facebook, for Instagram, and for Twitter, so please make sure you also follow me on there. Right, so we're talking about the driver, we're talking about those golfers who struggle with fade shots, with slice shots, and possibly even shots which are pushed, but basically any balls which finish too much to the right of the target. We're doing this drill with the driver simply because the driver is the one club that we tend to see this shot pattern happening a little bit more with, simply because we've got lower loft, we've got a little bit more speed involved, and we tend to see the curve a little bit more exaggerated. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to take your starting position, and we're going to make a few little tweaks to our start. Well, I'll say little tweaks, they're quite big changes actually. Once we've made those little setup changes, we're then going to hit some shots which only go about 50 to 100 yards, and we're going to try and think about where the grip points on the way through. This will become a little bit more, well, hopefully it'll be explained a little bit better in a minute. So, what I'm going to do, take my normal starting position. Now, from there, what I want to do is I want to narrow my stance, and I want to move my lead foot quite a bit closer to the ball and my back foot further away from the ball. So we're going to move the feet closer, and we're going to have 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. So you can see there how that's a very, very different starting position to what I would normally adopt with a driver. And I want to make sure that I've certainly got the toe of my back foot behind the heel of my front foot. That's important that we get enough distance between these feet. Now, from here, what this is going to do is it's going to really limit how much you can rotate your hips through the golf ball. It's going to slow down the rotation. Therefore, what we should find is that it increases the rotation of the arms. Now, for some golfers out there, what they will actually find is that this little exercise will cause the left arm to buckle a little bit more this way, where we get too much flex in the arm and the elbow starts to work up, pointing more towards the ceiling. So that's where the sort of second phase of this drill comes in. What we're going to do from that setup is we are going to imagine an area on the ground which is probably about 2 to 3 feet in front of the golf ball, but on the ball to target line. So ball to target line is a straight line from your ball to your target. Imagine that line and then just pick an area on the ground there. So I'm actually going to put a golf ball there, just for the purpose of this video, so you can see exactly the area that I mean. Now, from my new starting position, I want to feel like I hit the ball about 50 to 100 yards, but when I stop on my follow through, I want to try and get the butt end of the golf club to point down at the area on the ground, or in this case, it's the golf ball that I've put on the ground. What that's going to ensure is it's going to ensure that my lead arm, my left arm, is folding and rotating correctly. Now, if you do this drill, you start in the correct position and you create the right sort of look on the way through, you should find that the ball's actually probably going to go a little bit left to target. It's actually going to cause the club face to close a little bit. So let me just go ahead and do one so you can see what it looks like. So there's my starting position. Toe is certainly be behind the foot. And I'm just going to go ahead and just try and clip this ball 50 to 100 yards and try and get that follow-through position that we spoke about. So you can see here that the grip is pointed down at the golf ball. My right heel hasn't left the ground. I haven't got a huge amount of rotation on my hips, and that ball definitely had some right to left curve on it. So what it's really doing is it's helping those golfers who struggle to rotate the arms correctly through the golf ball. Many golfers out there slicing the ball because they're swinging across to the left, and as they go through, the arms are buckling this way a little bit. And what that means is that the club face tends to stay quite a bit open to the path, and that's the reason that we get the sort of fade or the slice off to the right. Just before we finish this video, many of you will be hitting the ball left to right through a club path and a club face issue. This really isn't addressing too much of the club path issue. This is really only addressing the rotation of the club face, and if we can increase the rotation of the club face, we may well start hitting some straighter shots or some pull shots to the left. So we've not taken a slice and turning it into a lovely high draw. But what we are doing is we may be creating a more functional golf shot. Those slices might turn into fades, which finish closer to target. They may even turn into pulls, but the pull is maybe a little bit of an easier shot to play with around the golf course because there's less curve and it'll probably actually go a little bit further. So we've got to understand that if you are slicing the ball, there's a very good chance that your path is to the left and the club face is open. This is, as I say, maybe only addressing the club face, but it's certainly going to hopefully give you some, as I say, more functional golf shots. Let me just do another one for you. Taking a starting position, foot behind the heel, that's where I want to be, and I'm just going to go 50 to 100 yards. I'm going to let my arms fold over, and again, that ball's gone pretty straight that time, maybe a little bit right to left, and again, here's my finish position with my elbow nicely tucked in, pointing more down towards the ground, and it's certainly a little bit different to the one we saw earlier. So, little drill, for those golfers who really struggle to square the club face or get the club face left of the path, this is often a very, very good way for you to feel that. The other thing you can do, and this is only in rehearsal without a ball, is if you are struggling to get that feeling, do exactly the same, but split your grip. So just create about 3 to 4 inches between the hands, and it will actually feel maybe a little bit easier to get that feeling on the way through. We're going through some quite extreme feels here, but if you've sliced the ball for years and you're struggling to get out of it, we need to go through some extreme feels. And if we can get that club face rotating quicker, we may well turn our slice into a fade or into a pull, and they might not be perfect shots, but they're probably a slightly better option than what you've currently got. Have a go at the drill. Let me know how you got on in the comments box. There's also a like button down there, and there's also a link to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done already. It really does help me a lot. Right, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again next time.